whenever I can and whenever I have the opportunity to come in here to speak to my YouTube audience, I try my best to come to you with practical wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from everyday life, whether it be religious, social, political, or economic. I try my best to speak to you truthfully from the heart and not to stretch myself beyond measure, but to speak to you about things that I actually do and put into practice in my life within my own self, as well as things that I've done in life, and try to save you a lot of steps and a lot of experiences I've learned in life. I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example with sound money. This is money. This is sound money. This is a 1 ounce silver Canadian maple leaf. Over the years and over the centuries, because time is an ally of deceit, we've been seduced into believing that this is not money at all, but this is money. Now you have to understand, it takes a lot of changing of the mind and of the conscience to get you to believe that what was always money is no longer money anymore in order for you to accept this. But we see happening right before our very eyes that regardless of the sentiments of the powers that be who want to continue to keep printing this stuff out of thin air and calling it money, we see that the people are constantly hedging themselves from this deflationary depression that we're staring at right now. I mean, after all, this is the only hedge against any type of deflationary depression that we're experiencing right now. So I've learned over the years that unless people are willing to open up their minds and willing to do the diligent research, and then that's, you have to understand, as Americans, anybody who speaks anything contrary to what we already believe, to us, they are a liar. Now, that doesn't mean that they're telling a lie. It's just that you have not yet have done your due diligence enough to stretch yourself or go outside of the box of your thinking to see if what they're saying is true or not. And this seems to be a common problem here in this world, in this society, in the way that we're living today. I think it's pretty sad, very sad, that we will not allow ourselves to grow because the things that we have received in the past as truth, we've limited ourselves, and so therefore we can't grow. Let me give you an example. For instance, on the religious front, there's nothing about the way that I was taught growing up. I don't care how much truth was given to me or how many lies were sown to me. There's nothing about what I've learned in the past that resembles anything or what I believe today. Because when I became a man, I started doing my own research, and I've been able to embrace truth. I've been able to grow, and I've been able to change. That's like a long time ago. I actually believed that this was money. One time I actually believed that this was serious money. I didn't have any idea or any concept that this thing right here was called money, or even if it was money. So what I did, I started reading books. I started doing research about people who are expert in these fields and areas. I started with the Bible, because the Bible talks about gold and silver as money. It's God's money. It's money that's always been a medium in exchange. And so I started looking at the history of stuff. How in the world did we get finagled, hoodwinked, and deceived into believing that this is money and this is no longer money? And yet I'm still watching this little 1 ounce silver right here getting ready to surpass what is printed on the face of this bill right here. This is a Federal Reserve note. It's not money. So after doing my due diligence and research and looking at the trends of history, I decided to change my course again, like I did when it comes to belief. I had to throw away all the things that I have ever learned, and I unlearned them so that I could learn the truth about what sound money was. And so I decided to hedge myself against inflation. I decided to ignore all the things that I had been taught and to find truth for myself. And of course, I've made many enemies Not that I wanted to, or even that it was my desire to make enemies, but I made a lot of enemies in changes that I've done in my life as well as others. I'll give you an example. I have thoughts running in my head, and I was thinking, why in the world would somebody want to go out and pay 30 years on a house? So I started doing calculations. Let's say if I was to purchase a $150,000 house. So I started doing calculations and stuff, and I figured over life of 30 years, I said, man, I'm going to pay $300,000 to $500,000 for that house. That just doesn't seem intelligent to me. And so I decided to save money and buy some land and make sure it's big enough land so I can get people who are of like mind and like precious faith. Since I'm in the Messiah, Nazarene of Israel, the Hebrew Israelite faith. And so I just thought that, it seems like that it would be better if I would just live debt free. And if I had to purchase anything, and of a large sum, buy it or purchase it, and then pay it off as quick as you can, because I'm not the type of man that has $5,000 just laying around that I can just go and lay my hands on and just go and pay for something right off the bat. So I thought I would live a little bit different. Also, I started checking out everything that I ever believed, especially when it comes to faith, because, I started thinking, I only got one soul. I only have one life. And if I'm expected to know the truth, because it seems like everything I've ever been taught was a lie, I'm going to have to nourish that knowledge within my own self. So I followed the same principles when I started looking at money. I really did. And so I'm glad that I've been able to hedge myself from this deflationary depression that we're staring at, just like the Roman Empire. I've learned that the United States of America, we're following the same policies and principles as the old Roman Empire. As a matter of fact, we've learned nothing from history. So a lot of people don't learn anything from history, but me, I choose to, because if I don't understand history and if I don't know history, then I'm destined to repeat the same mistakes from the past. I'll give you an example. China, India, and Brazil, no matter if the United States of America collapse, is irrelevant to them. They are sitting pretty. They're buying gold by the tons, millions of tons at a time. They're just swiping it all up, and silver. Matter of fact, they're even telling their citizens to buy silver. You know why? Because the whole world is fleeing this sinking ship, this dollar right here. This thing is on life support. Our economy here in America is sick, just like the people are. And while I'm there, let me talk about the food thing, for instance. I looked out and I saw that no matter what people are doing, no matter what diet fad that they would follow, no matter what opinions that they would follow because experts say, I see that the society around us are constantly still getting sick. So I started doing research. Today, it wouldn't make no difference if you're eating clean or unclean. If you're still not able to live on your own land, produce your own food, and grow your own livestock, chances are you're going to die of some type of kidney failure, heart disease, diabetes, or cancer. And that's just the truth. Because our food in this country is so chemically toxic. It is laced with diseases, and the processing of what they do with these animals and everything. There's nothing that you can do to keep yourself healthy if you continue to keep going to those grocery stores. So you're going to have to do like I did, get a greenhouse, get your own livestock. You know what goes into them. And then not only that, you can remain in optimum health. I mean, for a man my age, and I'm 45 years old, I actually do pretty good in everything. And not only that, but the little small assembly where I pastor at. And I have over half of it is older than I am. Well over half of it is. And you know what? We do pretty good from 82 years old to 2 years old to not have anybody on one prescription drug. That's unheard of in this society, isn't it? We do pretty good to not be under any doctor's care whatsoever at all. That's pretty good, isn't it? Don't you think that's notable? Don't you think that's pretty honorable that we've decided to take charge of our own lives, to not depend upon a system that has trained us to be subordinate, to take charge of our own spirituality, to take charge of what we believe to be tangible assets of money, regardless of what the trends of society, and regardless of what the indoctrination of the government training camps called education or public school says, regardless of what religion says, We use the same sources that they teach us from, and yet we come up with a different perspective and a total different way of life and idea, and yet we're prospering and in good health, and we're content with such things as we have. Oh no, I don't have a big old gigantic house, but it's paid for, and I thank the Father for that. No, I don't have hundreds of thousands of acres of land. No, I don't. I have about 40, and it was paid for, and I thank the Father for it. But not only that, I thank the Father because I'm able to share everything that He has led me and gave me a vision for in life. I'm able to share it with other people who believe in the same Most High as me. And so there's a lot of things that we no longer do. I mean, when I was a young man at 18 years old, the first thing I did was left my father's house. I went out not knowing where, and I took a wife. And I've been married to my wife 25 years, and we produced 2 children from my wife. And now they're grown. They're grown, and they no longer live at home. And so, but I've tried my best in life, and I haven't always been a perfect man. But the one thing I have done, though, is I've learned from my mistakes to not make the same mistakes again. So, hey. This right here is like this, and let me give you a principle. This is the truth. This is a lie. This has pressed down this as being the truth. It is pressed down a long time, but truth pressed down eventually is going to rise back again to the top. And so that's what's happening even right now. People know that our religious section of this world, especially here in the United States of America, called Christianity, has been nothing but a farce. It has lied to us, and it's still perpetuating the lie. That's why I don't concentrate on ministers, because you ain't going to get them. They're the ones who got you steeped in deception. My ministry is mostly to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Most of you don't know you Israel until you're actually told you Israel, and then you do the research and due diligence to find out. So that's why I'm here. So they have used this to press this down, to try to teach us that this is not money and give us this deception as truth. And this is a lie, and this is the truth. The same way, we're coming to the knowledge of the truth. And truth pressed down is going to rise to the top. And if you notice, everything is being turned upside down right now before our very eyes. And so, hey, I thank the Father that I've been able to exercise self-autonomy and independent thinking. I thank the Father that I have patterned my life to walk out of step with the masses of the people, because the masses have always been wrong every single time. I really do. And I thank the Father for all my brothers and sisters. I'm meeting brand new people every single week. Every single week, there are anywhere from 3 to 10 people that show up here by way of this YouTube who are listening to this ministry and who are immensely blessed because they have been able to hear and embrace the truth. They haven't let their previous religious training keep them. And that's the only way that some of you are going to grow. You're going to have to actually get out from under your family. You're going to have to actually get out from under those who train and manipulate you and use coercion, control, and fear to keep you from expanding and growing in grace and in knowledge. That's the only way you're going to be set free. Other than that, you're just going to continue to keep on fighting, just like a hamster on a Ferris wheel. You're going to keep going around the same old thing. You're going to look up 20 years from now, and there's nothing about your life that you're going to enjoy whatsoever at all. I thank the Father that my life here at Straightway is pretty much peaceful. I'm not in bondage to any man. The families here, the husbands and wife, get along fine. My wife and I get along wonderfully. Not even a crossword or an argument that's even said, even done even behind closed doors. We've got peace, and we thank the Father for it. And so that's my desire. My desire is everything that I've learned in life and everything that I teach, especially because I come from a biblical principles. In everything I do, I come from a biblical mindset. I desire to teach those to you so that you can have and obtain peace in your life. And that's the truth. I hope that I've been able to say something here today that has been able to stir up your pure minds and pure conscience to help you to break free of the chains of darkness and mind control that religion has placed upon you. And also what our country has placed upon you. They have deceived us. They have not told us the truth, And they've fed us lies to now the lie has become the so-called truth. And now the truth has become the lie. But now the truth is coming to the front. That's money. And the truth about life is coming to the front. Hallelujah. And there's one thing about the truth, according to John 8:32. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. I hope you continue to listen. Go back into my archives so you can get educated before you start asking a lot of questions. Go back in my archives and do a diligent search. Chances are I've already answered many of your questions. Many of your new YouTube listeners to this particular channel. I hope that you grow in grace and be the Father's will that we will be able to meet one day. I bless each and every last one of you. Have a prosperous, wonderful, peaceful day. And know this, we always win. No matter what, we always win.